back to attention because
All right, we'd like to welcome to the stage Aaron James and the rest of the James Band.
Hey guys, how y'all doing today? I don't know how to follow that. Way to go, Marlene and Alex. Wow. We're the James family. Everybody knows Erin. I don't think I need to introduce her, but just in case, this is Erin. She started coming to Dance Marathon when she was 2.5 years old, so she's grown up here. My name's Shelley, it's my husband Rick, and this is our little boy Ricky. Ricky is not with us. Ricky is an angel in heaven. Oh, also up here, not to be forgotten, are our family pals, Andrew and Bree, and everybody probably knows Caroline. We were fortunate to have her with us for 3 years, and she will always be our family. So let's go back to April 1st, 2007. Ricky was feeling constipated, not doing what he's supposed to do. He was 22 months old that day, and something just didn't jive right. So we took a visit to our local children's hospital, not Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, and it was a waste of time. And they sent us home, and we spent the rest of the afternoon very uncomfortable, very miserable, and very worried. Made a few phone calls, was told what to do by the nurse hotline, and ended up at CHOA. Within 20 minutes of walking into CHOA, they drained 300 cc's of urine from Ricky's bladder. Remember, I said he was 22 months old, so that's a lot of urine in a little bladder. Did some more testing, and I'd say, what, within about 3 hours, we were told that Ricky had something blocking his rectum. He's 22 months old, he picks up things, he puts them in his mouth, it's a quarter, get it out, let me go home, I'm tired. And I'm 4.5 months pregnant with Aaron. Not to mention that Rick was out of town visiting his family, so it was a late night, I just wanted it done. And that's when I heard the words that your son has cancer. And we're 99% sure it's rhabdomyosarcoma. We were admitted into the Aflac Cancer and Blood Disorder Center. And I remember the mix-up as we're going up the hallway, they take us to room 343. No big deal, it's just any other room. At that time, Aflac was on the 3rd floor, and our room was actually room 323. And as they took us back to where we were supposed to be, there was that lovely little sign with Will and Hope that says Aflac Cancer, Blood and Disorder Center, and I hit the ground. And my life began. The reality that I would spend the next 3 years living in that unit started. Ricky immediately started chemo. We were inpatient for 12 days the first time. Rhabdomyosarcoma is a cell-based cancer that attaches to your soft muscles. It's a soft muscle tumor. And in his case, he had a 5.1 centimeter attached to his prostate. We did the first 12 days, and then we did another year of chemo. And Ricky did 28 days of 50 grade radiation. He had 4 radiation treatments done to go the day that his sister was born, so he came right from radiation, walked into the hospital and said, "Where's my baby?" And she was his baby and his best source of medicine from that moment on. At 3 weeks old, Erin spent her first night at the Aflac unit with us. So all 4 of us opened up the pack and play, you got the couch, I got the bottom of the bed. And we stayed there as a family, and we stayed there for the next 3 years as a family. Aaron grew up in the hospital. Ricky finished off his chemo, finished his radiation. He was no evidence of disease. Everything was great, life was going on. Scans in 3 months. And at 2 months, mother's intuition kicked in, and I insisted they do the scan. I worked for our insurance company, so I pulled some strings, and we got our scans. And unfortunately, Ricky's cancer had returned. I mentioned that rhabdomyosarcoma is a cell-based cancer, which means it only needs 1 cell to regrow. And until multiple cells combine, you actually don't know that you have it, hence the cluster. In Ricky's case, it had grown back, and this time was attached to both his bladder and his prostate. Bladder and his prostate. Excuse me, sorry. I've told this story a lot. We did not have the option of doing radiation at this time because essentially Ricky's insides were cooked. Started this journey at 22 months old, so he's now what? 2.5? 3 years old. And we couldn't do radiation again. Our only real option, if we were going to do anything, was very aggressive. And Ricky had his bladder, his prostate, his urethra, a portion of his urethra, his transverse colon, and all the surrounding lymph nodes removed. He was supposed to be in the PICU for up to 3 days. We were actually in it for 6 hours, and then we made it back to the Aflac unit because that's where Ricky did best. He was a creature of character, or of circumstances. He knew his environment, and if he was in where he was comfortable, Lord help you. He was not shy and had no problems letting you know he was around. Mind you, anyone? So we now began our second year of chemo. Did our Make-A-Wish trip, came back from our Make-A-Wish trip, and Ricky went in for his surgery. He did great in his surgery. And on November 2nd, we resumed our chemo, finished that up on February 25th, 2009. During that period, from November 2nd, 2008 to December 25th, 2009, we were home less than 20 days. Ricky did not have all your normal chemo side effects. He had the bald head, which was adorable. But the vomiting, all those lovely things you think about, we were very blessed not to have to deal with that. Instead, we dealt with all of the side effects that are possible but don't ever really happen, unless you're Ricky James. Then you get them. So we had staph infections, we had C. diff so many times, I think I'm immune to it. Ricky and I were holed up in isolation for 5 weeks. We had to ship her away, and Rick could come and visit as long as he was dressed nicely. And nicely, I mean those lovely yellow gowns that they would give you. 5 weeks in isolation with a 3.5-year-old. I'm just gonna let you use your imagination, it was not fun. But when we weren't in isolation, Erin was growing up in the hospital with us. Ricky, she learned to walk, talk, crawl, get into trouble, escape. One time we're sitting there and they brought her back from the front lobby because Ricky taught her to push the silver buttons in the unit to get out of the unit. And I was sitting in the room working, thinking the kids are up at the nurse's station doing their charts, because when you live at the hospital as much as we were, you have your routines. But no, Erin had decided she wanted to go to the fish wall. So they brought her home, or back to our room. Ricky beat cancer for the 2nd time, and it was pretty freaking awesome. And for 6 months, we had complete normalcy. We developed, our family motto was live, love, laugh, make memories. We had a lot of fun. My kids had such a fondness for Children's Healthcare of Atlanta that during those 6 months of not having cancer, we had to go to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta at least twice a week for our play date. Because that was their playground. They called it Dr. Turtles, and that's where they enjoyed it, that's where they wanted to be. So we never really got away from the place. But unfortunately, now we're at our 6-month scans, and Ricky now has lesions on his lungs. And the first time we discovered the lesions, it was only 2. Doctor doesn't need friends, remember, it's just gonna grow. We go back a few weeks later, we've now got too many to count. And it was that point we knew that we were going to say goodbye to Ricky. We did have options. They were very invasive and very destructive to the family. Being in Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, we were able to stay together. Erin was able to be by her brother's side. Ricky had his baby. Rick was able to go to work. I was able to work. We were able to be together as a family in the evenings and develop our crazy normal. But it was possible because it was so close. It was in our backyard. We were so blessed and thankful for that. If we took some of the other alternatives, it would have separated the family. And the internet is a wonderful, horrible thing. And I knew enough to know that I didn't want our family to be apart because we didn't know what time we had left together. We decided to live, love, laugh, and make memories, L3M2. And we did that. We made our bucket list, scratched off a lot of our bucket list, got to do a lot of fun things, go a lot of places, see a lot of people, meet some amazing people. And on May 5th of 2010, Ricky went into the hospital in respiratory and heart failure. They were able to put us into the PICU and rejuvenate his heart with some kind of special drop. I don't know. At this point, the technology really got past me. I just knew we were going to try and have whatever time left we could have. But unfortunately, Ricky's kidneys, after 3 years of adult-strength chemo, were done. And if your kidneys don't bounce back, they're not going to. So, sorry. We took Ricky off the drip. We moved into the Affleck unit, room 197. The doctors raised all visitation restrictions. We had upwards of 60 people in Ricky's room at any given time for the next 2 days. We had a blast, one hell of a party. And then we went home on May 17th. On May 18th, we took a helicopter ride, Ricky and I, to meet the governor down at the big old thing down there. And that was pretty awesome. And then we came home to finish living. Ricky was a remarkable child who had an incredible zest for life. He had a spirit unlike any other. In 2009, our family was invited to join UGA Miracle, and Ricky got to attend his first and only dance marathon in 2010. This is our 8th year coming to this event, and although Ricky is not with us physically, he is here with us in spirit. I still can see, at the time the bounce houses were in the back of the building here, that's how much y'all grown. And I can still see the green streak, which we call Ricky. UGA Miracle means the world to our family. Our experiences have been really hard. Our story is not an easy one to hear, and most days, it's really hard to tell. Being involved with this organization from the first time that we saw the final closing circle, and got to experience with Ricky and both Ricky and Aaron, and we continue to be able to experience with Aaron, means so much to us. You gave Rick and I so much hope for the future and what we saw by you guys giving up your time, not only today, this weekend, but you do so much throughout the entire year to raise money and to make a difference for something that I hope to God you never truly need or know. It means the world to us, and we're incredibly blessed and thankful that we're continuing to be invited back every year, that the Ricky James Spirit Award exists, that he will always be that green streak running through the back. In, how many years are you coming here? You're no. 7 years, or whenever she comes here, so that's 11 years, Aaron will be standing up here working exec.
Woo!
Any doubts? You guys need to know that your doing matters. It really, truly, truly matters. It makes a huge difference. We didn't have the best outcome. Ricky getting cancer was not the worst thing that ever happened to our family. We met incredible, amazing people that I can't imagine my life without. We got involved with this group, which we never would have had the opportunity to do. We learned what an amazing facility is at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. We never had that much experience with CIRU. The announcement this year that everything over $1 million is going to be going to Affleck, you guys have no idea how I bawled. That was awesome, amazing. It's so needed, it's so important. CIRU is amazing. Ricky didn't have physical therapy, he had neuropathy, he lost feeling in his ankles, they were floppy, he had the cutest little braces. But we didn't live in CIRU like some of the other families here have. It meant so much. So an organization that's so close to our hearts now, when you guys joined in with Affleck, that was just amazing. You have a lot of cancer families here, and I know it means a lot to all of us that you're doing that, because without the research, there is a need for Affleck Children's Cancer Center, and without your help, there's not going to be that research, because that's not where it's at. Childhood cancer doesn't get the attention that it deserves and that it needs. And our kids thank you. I thank you personally. I'm going to speak for you guys right now.
That one?
They thank you. And Ricky's watching all of you. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here today, for doing what you do, for inviting us back year after year.
It's going to hear.
And just giving everything that you have when you don't have to. Thank you.